Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Stafford. I'm the chair of the Career Consortium of Berry County, and I also, as of just recently, I am the chair of the Berry Community Foundation Board. What we'll be talking about today is the Career Consortium of Berry County. What the Career Consortium was, for multiple years through the Berry ISD School District, it had a Workforce Connections group, BCAN, and it basically was multiple groups coming together to increase, when it was BCAN, career access readiness through college, and now we're driving it north for workforce engagement and career exploration. The one program that we're working on right now is increasing dual enrollment in Berry County. If you were unfamiliar, KCC has been here for 30 years. They just celebrated their 30th anniversary a couple weeks ago. This campus has been open and has a lot of opportunities. A lot of CNA programs are offered there right now. CAMA, their Kellogg Advanced Manufacturing Association for skills, computer labs, lots of other classes. But the one thing the Career Consortium has been focusing on is increasing the opportunities for welding classes, machining classes, increased healthcare options. So with doing that, this presentation, myself, Emily Quiggle of the Chamber, the Berry ISD Superintendent, Rich Franklin, and recently retired CT Director, Ed Domke, ran in front of the KCC Board of Trustees to officially ask that Berry County would like to have more opportunities on this campus for hands-on learning. Some of the information we shared with them is growth. I mean, I'm sure through all the municipalities in Berry County, we'd like to see this. That I know we were at the GDSU Economic Summit where their analysis said, hey, in Michigan, Berry County is one of the only communities growing in the state of Michigan, which is kind of pretty cool. With the consortium, we have been working with business, industry, and education to actually get them to talk together. A lot of it has been that if you get to certain groups, they say, hey, you know, schools need to do this or schools need to do that. Well, I take that, you know, I'm a Hastings graduate, 1994. I'm actually a KCC alum. And with that, the schools need to do it, but they need the input from business and industry to understand what's going on that they need help with. They're going to follow what the state mandates, you know, 19.5 credits are state mandated now between math, English, science, of 24 credits that a student can take 6 hours, 4 years. So with that, we've been trying to help, and with that, KCC's dual enrollment seems the best fit. With that, we've had great partnerships right now with FlexFab, Fiberglass, Corwell, Viking, Bradford White, with some of the current program offerings. Just last year, there were 3 2-hour blocks of welding at Hastings High School, an hour block of machining, and that's just the dual enrollment stuff at Hastings. KCC is working with Delton as well, but what we're trying to grow in this is machine technology, business management, IT, industrial welding, and HVAC-R. So I worked for the Bradford White Corporation for 22 years, and especially on weeks like this, that if you don't understand how much refrigeration is important to our community, and right now, if something would break in your home, good luck getting somebody out there to troubleshoot it. Refrigeration is one of the things growing, and if you don't have the credentials to do it correctly, that I think everybody here knows, you just don't crack open a refrigeration line because a lot of bad stuff happens. There's not enough trained certifications out there to handle refrigeration. You can understand furnaces, but when you get to the air conditioning side, if you don't have that state certification, you can't work on it. Or you can, but not legally. So that's something. KCC has a great program in Battle Creek, but as we all know, travel is not the greatest thing. And with that, this is another slide that Nicole offered, is working and living in the same community as this is Berry County. So a lot of people live and work in Berry County versus the travel. So continuing, this is a lot of stuff that I will put out through the chamber. But one of the interesting things is Right now, there's funding available for CTE deserts. And if you look at this, if you can't say that Berry County doesn't have a career center, yes, KCC is sitting here for the two-year college, but we're not in their taxing district. So we don't actually get claimed to have their campus in our county, and we don't have a 4-year. So we are the best description of a CTE desert, which then also will help us allow to get some funds for this. Because that's the one thing is we have 5 public schools in Berry County with 3 different intermediate school districts. So TK goes to the north for their Career Tech Center. Lakewood goes to Ionia and also LCC West. Maple Valley goes to LCC West through Eaton Resa. And Hastings, Delton, and then also, this is for Berry County Christian students, we don't have a Career Tech Center. Hastings has great programming offering in the schools that Ed Domke did a wonderful job of continuing, and they just recently announced as a replacement. So he comes from Ionia Public Schools, a middle school principal that will have pretty big shoes to fill, and that's where the consortium comes in hand is. Just a few months ago, we signed on with Corewell Health, FlexFab, Fiberglass, ChemQuest, Berry Community Foundation, the Chamber, the ISD, that we work together to use resources to make sure that we have more hands-on learning for our students. And the one thing that I'm sure even the municipalities is, because I kind of got it out of the BEAD grant, is there's so much money going out there is who's going to go grab it. Well, for CTE, it's not 1.5 billion. We have to fund this ourselves. So right now, KCC, after we went through to their board of trustees and said this is something we need, phase 1 has already started. Renditions have already came out for a 20,000 square foot expansion, adding all the equipment for the programs I talked about, and the price tag came in at about 30 million. The ways to fund this traditionally, if you go outside of Berry Canner or even like Thornapple Kellogg is in the Kent County, Kent ISD taxing district. So they pay taxes to send their students to KCTC an hour north. Lakewood schools are in Ionia ISD. There's 6 schools in that district. Lakewood does not pay into their vocational millage. So they actually have to pay for their students to go to Ionia. Maple Valley is actually in the Eaton Resa, and they pay into their taxing district to send their kids to LCC West. So that's where we're starting to lay the groundwork and working with KCC is what makes the most sense. They actually had a great presentation, which I'll get and get sent out to the chamber, that 30 years ago, the Berry County Board of Commissioners, or County Commissioners, voted on bonds to build KCC campus as you see today. And over 20 years, KCC paid back those bonds, and then ownership went to KCC. That's how this got established. So there were some restrictions on that where KCC could never come into Berry County to get into that, ask them to be in their taxing district. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way to do this, because we all know nothing gets done without finances. And skilled trades or manufacturing and our business and industry partners that we've talked to know that if we can't teach our own to show what is available in our community, they're going to get outsourced. We're recently, FlexFab has been a great partner with KCC. The Viatech building, the long one, KCC bought that FlexFab has recently purchased that from Corewell, and by fall of 2027, there'll be a partnership with FlexFab and KCC where a new machining and welding lab will be put in there in a temporary fashion until we can potentially build this new site. And then also, there's a partnership with KCC and Corewell right now that KCC's campus, they're actually putting in 3 rooms, putting the medical one-piece floor in, so that for biohazards, case blood, hits the floor, so that for the first time ever, KCSC is offering medical assistant programming starting this fall. Because Corewell Health and all the surrounding doctors said, we can't get MAs. So these are programs where we've gotten feedback, but with the municipalities, that's something to work through our friends at the chamber of needs in your communities that would relate to this. Berry County is a very split up geographically with the school districts. There's called CPED districts that our approach was Berry County has to fix this ourselves. But it's not going to be just one group that's done this. We need support through the community. And again, some of the enrollments, our goals is we're not just not asking for money. We want to have the metrics behind it, what programs offering are needed, and then make this community-wide. So we've already reached out to the Thornapple Kellogg superintendent where they do go to Kent ISD, but as long as we keep this a KCC dual enrollment program, there is no funding issues of them sending their kids 12 minutes to the south instead of an hour to the north. Because if you've looked in the news lately, if you have a career center currently, there's waiting lists. So the goal of this is right now getting the welding and machining programs out of Hastings High School into this temporary flex fab location is territorial disputes. Does one school really want to send their kids to another school, even though they're in the same ISD, they might like it. And with schools of choice, there's been some challenges with that. So lots of information here, but the main goal of this is the consortium is, oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just saying.
Oh, time, 5 minutes, great. Nicole knows better to shut me off because I ramble a lot. There's lots of information here, but the whole idea behind the Career Consortium is, we're working with the Chamber, with Berry Community Foundation, the ISD, the high school, Delton, the community partners, is this information, we need to get this to our schools, because right now, if you haven't seen the transition, TK superintendent's going on his second year, Delton's going on their second year, Hastings is going on his third year, Maple Valley just hired a new assistant superintendent that will take over Catherine's spot probably by fall of 27. Lakewood, Jody's been there, I think, 4 or 5 years. We have a very new superintendent group that we need to talk to them because they're all in our municipalities of working together, because there are challenges with them all talking together. And it's been nice that they have independently, but to do this as KCC, the consortium's plan is to do it as a whole. And especially use it with our partner of KCC of 30 years, that starts to take out some of those territorial boundaries. Lots of information, but the idea is we're 30 years behind not having a career tech center, and what can we do to increase that? AI is coming, AI is here, and I don't think it's ever going to wire our house for us, put plumbing in the ground, put walls up, maybe someday. But the other fun part of this is we've just met recently with the airport here about how can aviation and drones tie into this. And we've already had 2 meetings, because something they said is, I can't think if it was Steve or who said it at that meeting, was if you're not working on drones now, you're already behind. So it's nice, KCC in Battle Creek already works with Western. They already have some drone programs. We have a great community airport. Why can't we get that in for us? And using KCSC as our educational partner is a great way that we already have great friendships with them. Questions? Thank you. Oh.
I'll just make a comment.
Yes.
I've been helping out in the schools and stuff. I've been licensed. This is what they need. I can't emphasize enough. This is what the kids desire. This is what they need. A lot of kids recognize that college is their path, but there isn't a path. Hastings does do their best with what they have. There's a whole lot more out there. I can't emphasize enough. What he's working on, and what this community is working on, is what this community and these kids need for the future. Okay? Is get them more of that program so they come out. There's a couple kids that take advantage of that. One in the welding program, he just got offered at the end of the school year, which was 1 year after he graduated, $47 an hour. He was getting paid as a journeyman, as an apprentice journeyman rate, because they wanted to keep him because he already had the skill set started from the right? And that's 1 year out of high school. So these are what these kids need, these types of programs. There's a whole bunch more, I can label a bunch of other kids that have done the same thing. Graduated high school, $27 an hour because they did the construction class, right? And they're off and running. We do a really good job, the best we can with Hastings, but there's a lot more gaps out there. The drones, the medical stuff, more advanced medical, that can really help these kids get a good running start.
Well, and I think Ben hit the nail on the head is, Ben's actually a substitute, I think middle school and high school. I'm the robotics coach for Hastings going on 5 years. And it's interesting, robotics is, we're a club because we meet after school. But if you go to your first robotics event, and it's like a rock concert, and these kids they're geeky, but the amount of technology these kids understand is they're going to compete about 19 times over a day and a half. They're smashing robots and they have to fix it right there and then. So the on-the-job skills they're learning are phenomenal. And it's not just kids that can program. It's kids that can build. It's kids that have teamwork. I'll use one of my favorite kids this year, Matt, that his dad's sitting in the crowd. He unfortunately messed up his shoulder wrestling, but this kid, this year we had to throw a 6-inch ball in, and this kid could shoot from 35 feet. Our robot crashed in the middle of the event, and there was 2 other robots. We all went down, but these 3 kids won us that match because they were able to shoot balls and got us 95 points. It's the teamwork of, there's 40 teams at these events, and these kids just talk. And if you can't think that's gonna help your business, that the kids can just go into an event and talk to 40 other schools that are there, it's amazing. And we're a club. And this year we had funding and it didn't cost the school anything. And that's something that Delton has it, Lakewood has it, Maple Valley has it, TK is working on it. But these are the programs that we need to keep growing into it. And having a career center as a hub would help that. So, thank you.